If you've ever felt like you are in a hard place, a place that you would have not chosen if you had a choice, it's a place where you feel like no growth will happen. If you were there, today's video is for you. Welcome to Wellness with Rachel. Today we are talking about blooming where you're planted. You've heard the phrase bloom where you're planted, and it's a nice, cheesy phrase, but when we're really in the thick of it, when we are stuck in those hard places, it's really difficult for us to feel like any growth will happen. So today I want to give you 3 things to do when you are in those hard places and encouragement that you can bloom where you're planted. And that happens sometimes in a way that might not be visible. You might not see a bloom, but there's still growth happening. Okay, number 1, instead of asking the question, why am I here? Turn it around and ask this question. What am I learning, or what is God teaching me in this time? Just changing that question really helps change the perspective, because you're looking for lessons. You're looking for areas of growth. Instead of asking, why am I here? That's a stuck question. Ask, what am I learning in this hard place? Number 2, surround yourself with encouragers. Find people that will lift you up in those hard times. Find people that will encourage growth. Find people that will hold you accountable when your negative thoughts spiral. This is important. You need people, especially in those hard places. You need people to help you. Number 3 is find ways to cultivate kindness. There's something about cultivating kindness in times when we feel like we're in very hard places that helps pull us out of ourselves. So something that I've been thinking about is the dandelion. So a dandelion is a weed. It is a weed. We usually do not want these things in our yard. We hate them. I've had them in my yard. I've had to pull them up, and the roots are really hard to pull out altogether. So you have to kind of dig in there and twist it and pull it out. But the dandelion is a very fascinating weed. It is one thing we do not want. We don't want it in our yard. It's a very hardy plant. It's hard to get rid of. But here's the thing about dandelion. Dandelions are amazing. They actually, every single part of the dandelion plant is edible by humans. We can eat every single part. You probably had some dandelion leaves in your salad at some point, right? You can eat every single part of the dandelion. But something that's interesting about the dandelion is, when you there's the yellow flower, but then when it seeds, it turns into those wish plants that we call them, where we blow them and they go. Those are dandelions too, but it's a different form, and that's how they spread their seeds. But the interesting thing is they land wherever. You never know where they're gonna land, which sometimes you don't want them in your own yard. That's why we don't want them to get to that seeding point when they're in our yard. But when the wind carries them, has no idea where it's gonna land. Could land in the middle of a sidewalk, in the crack of the sidewalk. But you know what? If you've ever seen a dandelion growing out of a crack of a sidewalk, it doesn't need much soil. And it's amazing the growth that can happen with a flower in the middle of a very hard place like a concrete sidewalk. I just love the image of the dandelion, because it's something at first that we would probably be disgusted by. We're like, we don't want dandelions, but it's so useful. We can eat every part of the dandelion plant. If you were stuck in the woods, you'd have a lot of different things, vitamins that you would have to take care of yourself. You can even eat the little yellow blossom. But another thing that's very encouraging is that dandelion will be carried by the wind. And sometimes in our lives, we are carried. Obviously, it's by God's hand, but they were carried to places that are sometimes very hard, that He allows for that to happen, and we don't understand why. But we're there, and growth can happen there. If you look at a little flower that has just started to bloom out of a sidewalk, it's amazing. It's an amazing sight to behold, and I always like to take a picture of that whenever I see it, because it's beautiful. It's a beautiful reminder that growth can happen in hard places, that you can bloom where you're planted, even though that place that you're planted in may not be what you have chosen if you had a choice. So I want to encourage you today with those 3 things. Number 1, change that question. Instead of asking, why am I here? Or why did God bring me here? Ask, what does God want to teach me here? Number 2, surround yourself with people that will encourage you in this hard time. We need those. We need people. Number 3, cultivate kindness. Find ways to pull yourself out of you and look around and find ways to cultivate kindness in that hard place, because in that you're going to experience growth and you can bloom wherever you're planted, whether it's in a hard place or a soft place or a place that's favorable or a place that you would have never chosen. Thanks so much for listening. And if you feel like you are stuck in a hard place and you need to make changes, but you don't know where to begin, please reach out. You can reach out to the link in the notes of this YouTube. And I have life coaching that I offer. I'm able to sit down with you and help develop a plan that is tailored just for you to help you get unstuck and move forward and find confidence to enter your next season of life. Thanks for listening.